call the reflection of life. It's kind of like the mirror. And I call it the mirror because you're able to see what's really going on behind you. It's like you're looking in the mirror, then you're seeing like what's happening behind you. Jupiter represents how you understand what is foreign to you and how you contribute to the process of your soul expansion. Bliss planet also describes how you interpret the spiritual realm. This changes every year across the planetary lifespan, and connecting the spectral lines of Jupiter has a direct effect on the way we access our wisdom. To summarize, should we immerse ourselves in the characteristics of Jupiter, we begin to manifest what we are here to learn and grow, and our consistent work is guaranteed to pay off. So it gets a bit tricky with Jupiter. To summarize, Jupiter is what your heaven looks like. That's what I call it. And for some people, it has a lot of like luxurious goods in there. For some people, it's baked goods. For some people, it's daily out-of-body experiences. Whatever it is, the whole idea is to understand what is foreign to you. And I guess like in terms of doing readings and stuff, how to help somebody, like let's say if you have a friend or a family member, you're trying to help them understand the information you're trying to present, you can, other than looking at Mercury is how to communicate the information to present, you can look at Jupiter. It's like how they'll absorb the information. And also you can see like how they may be stuck or what may be blocking them from understanding. Let's say if they have Capricorn and Jupiter, what could be blocking them from even understanding and absorbing any of the information that you're presenting to them could be tradition, and it could be but I learned that this is what is good and this is what is bad, and I don't want to like betray. There's this fear of betraying others and betraying like, you know, their beliefs. So like crossing that bridge with them will help them like process and understand and expand their soul, for example. And if you have a Pisces, and it's usually with Pisces, they need evidence, they need to see what's going on, they need to have the experiences, and perhaps that's why they have a lot of like crazy experiences, like out-of-body experiences, and you know, ETs, for example. Moving forward, we have Saturn. Saturn, I called in you the hand of God, and it represents how you discipline yourself and persevere. Saturn can be really complicated because it has witnessed your actions in this life and past life. And therefore, depending on the placements of your charts, we accept things. We're like, oh, this is just how it is. I'm just going to live with this person. Or, you know, this job is paying my bills. I'll just stay there. You're getting treated horribly, but you just, you know, you're like, I'm comfortable. It's okay. This is okay. But then there's going to be a time your guides are all having this meeting and you're like, okay, this person's not listening to anything we're saying. Let's just, you know, drop the bomb, boom, everything just shuts down, everything changes, and you're just like, how did this happen? When did this happen? You know, it can be detrimental sometimes, but it's a gift. That's why I call it the hand of God. It's like God comes in and it's like, okay, I'm going to take this. That's it. Take this away. It's time. Wake up. Yeah, it's interesting. And a lot of times when I'm doing people's charts, I see where they are and if Saturn is coming in or coming out. It's really interesting. And just because of time moving forward, Uranus. This planet represents the process of your awakening, the sudden change in the present moment. It is directly linked to your inner will, secret power, and hidden knowledge. It guides us to shed awareness on your uniqueness and sews together experiences to create something new. With meditation, we can connect to the energy of Uranus to guide us to creating novelty into the moments. It's a revolutionary sign, as a bold statement. We must follow our path no matter how impossible the goal appears to be. To summarize, I'm gonna say Uranus is like the package, how to package yourself, or like after like mastering your energies, how your energies appear to others. It's like, how do people, it's like, I don't know if you've seen on, this might sound cheesy, but if you go on YouTube and you see people presenting their awakening process, it's like the energy they get out of that is actually the Uranus energy. It's really interesting. And I'm gonna take your questions to further explain this. I think that'll be easier to understand. Okay. Let's see. Oh wow, Jupiter in Cancer. That's amazing. Okay, so Jupiter in Cancer in here, whatever you choose to do, this might sound, I'm gonna throw this out there. For success, it's all about creating the space for people to feel comfortable to share themselves. It's like you're creating the safe space for people to come in and just share who they are and just share their wounds and cry. That's kind of like what even It doesn't matter even if you're like doing healing work or psychic or even music, for example, but through the domain you're presenting and the whole idea is you're providing that space for people to be and release. That's where success will come in. Excuse me. Jupiter and Virgo. Okay, so Jupiter and Virgo, it's all about creating this whole new lifestyle changes and lifestyle choice. And oh my, I just realized they have Saturn in Virgo. Okay, so if for example, if whatever you're doing does not match with who you really are, it just gets shuts down. And even if it doesn't get shut down, there'll be like troubles coming along the way that that you did not expect out of nowhere. But it's because it's not who you are. You're not being yourself. Like even if you're excelling at something, you'll have a hard time keeping it up, for example. But it's not because there's something wrong with you, but it's because this is not where you're meant to be. And this is where it gets tricky in terms of the universe and our higher selves. And that's why we have to learn to see things. I'm going to call it point zero. It's like you're not seeing things as good as bad. You're seeing how things are serving us in a way. And in terms of Uranus and Scorpio, a lot of people may, how do I describe this? Uranus with Scorpio. It's you become bold. It's like with time, you become it's like you'll be seen from a distance. It's like you're just, you become more, I'm going to use the word, you become a bit more alien, more eccentric. It's like everyone can see like your ancestry timeline like emerging through you. It's like, whoa, who's this person here? I want to talk to this person. I want to get to know this person. You kind of like, there's this whole mysterious thing that will make people want to get to know you. It's really fascinating. It's like there's this unique, it's like you start looking a bit different than, it's like, I would say sharper features for Scorpio. Some may use the word dark, but I don't like to use the word dark because within dark there's light. And that's what I mean by when you need to look at things from point zero. It's a really interesting placement they have. Yeah, very interesting placement. Oh, wow. Saturn and Pisces. Saturn with Pisces, again, a lot of times it's, things get disrupted primarily with, it's like I'm tuning into you at the same time. And it's like I'm about to say relationships, but with you, it's more of just allowing yourself to be yourself. It's like that was just not the case growing up. That's just what I see. That was not the case even in mid-20s. That was just not the case either. It was like there was always something shutting down, and it was always due to a group of people that were surrounding you in that sense. I need to see other placements in your chart to go further. There's something in there that I'm feeling. I also use my intuitive, and I get glimpses and imagery when I do these charts. That's why you find me like pausing or speaking in different intervals, just because of time. Oh my, Aquarius. Yeah, Aquarius Uranus. Oh my, you're just gonna look more and more alien with time. just that's just a quick summary. You're not gonna look human after this class. It's just like within time, it's just, and when you meet other individuals, I'm like, whoa, they look like so unique, but it's like there's something non-human. Like with Scorpio, it's like you can see their whole ancestry coming through. It's like it's like you have this army of ancestors just marching with you wherever you go. It's interesting. With an Aquarius Uranus, it's like people will be wondering like, where's this person from? What has this person come through? It's the beauty of things. Jupiter in Sagittarius. Jupiter in Sagittarius is here to guide people for, I'm gonna use the word travel for a lack of a better term, but it's kind of like showing people the dimensions of life, and that can be through storytelling. It sounds really with other elements of your chart, we can speak further of how that takes place, but it's more of how to speak your story and how to share that with others and how to allow others to travel with you through that story. Jupiter with Cancer, same thing. I spoke about how to like create the space for people. What else? If I'm missing people, I'm really sorry. Zoom is doing weird stuff. What else? Uranus and Scorpio, I explained that. Pisces, Saturn and Pisces. Break free from me. Yes, that is true, Dominoes. Uranus and Capricorn. Did I explain that? Uranus and Capricorn. Okay. No, just a quick summary. I'm trying to find the right sentence for you, Dylan. Uranus in Capricorn, in that sense. If there's something that has to be written or a book, just do it. Yeah, just have to allow yourself to be, what's the word? Non-human. Just allow yourself to write everything that you do not have anything to explain yourself for. Just allow yourself to do that. Oh, Saturn with Taurus, just a quick summary of Saturn with Taurus. A lot of times it happens where things get taken from you through financial means. It's like money gets blocked a bit. But if you do not listen and money's getting blocked, that's when your health gets affected. So if you find Saturn in Taurus, or like Taurus energy in different placements, which we'll go further in, that it starts off with money and then it goes to health. So you have to be careful with that. You want to make sure that, you know, financially you're not like blocked and your health is, you know, not blocked as well. Uranus with Leo as well. It's more of like creating a whole new society for people. It's like a new world for people to live in. It's a bit different than Aquarius. Aquarius is kind of like charging people to create the revolution. And with Leo, it's kind of like, it's like, hey guys, here's this apartment that we can all live in and this is what we can do. Moving forward, Saturn and Virgo. It's all about, wait, let me see this for you. Because I remember you had like Capricorn placements as well. This is really tricky. Oh, again, that goes back to like discipline and routine, but the discipline has to be for you and not for others, because a lot of times in your lifeline you're doing things for others more than yourself, and we can delve through if you want to do a chart reading. Then a Sagittarius, I don't really remember if I explained that. Well, let me see for you. I would say it's like creating a whole new, a bit similar to Leo, but it's like creating a whole new, it's like you're presenting something for someone to keep with them. And I'll explain that further later, but it's kind of like you're able to gift stuff that will change people. It's like those little grounding tools, but because of time, I'll let you guys know later. Let's move on. There's more to this, guys. It's fascinating. There's more to this. Moving forward. Moving forward, more to the mirror. There's still more things to see behind you. Neptune. Neptune is here to emphasize imagination as a realm we have access to as we choose to do so. Excuse me. It highlights how we utilize imagination and creativity during this lifetime to understand others. In other words, how do you detect what is behind the scenes and how you refine and create new worlds in the non-physical realm, astral realm. Our innate psychic and healing ability, and to summarize how you see the unseen and the healing that needs to be done in this incarnation. And it's also a 14-year cycle. And upon a closing period, our visions begin to change and expand according to our current state of consciousness. And this can manifest into psychic abilities or delusions. And this planet also governs our emotional and spiritual collective generational family. So there's a lot of things to talk about in Neptune. So first is all about how to access, especially if you're starting from scratch. I feel a lot of people are in the healing realm. So if you have a client or somebody and they're like new and they're starting from scratch, you can look at their Neptune and how to activate the imagination self, the childlike version of you, how to activate that and where they are in that process and what tools they need to expand on that and to keep the practice going and to trust themselves and, you know, evolve. And also, if you want to look at Neptune, let's say you want to go into the astral realm and, you know, have more of those experiences, you can look at what elements in your Neptune and also like guide yourself on how to have all these out-of-body experiences and expansive meditations. Excuse me, guys. And it's a 14-year cycle, so a lot of times we have this period, and within the 14-year period, we have this like reflective state where we're summarizing what happened, and we may sit down and get all these glimpses of life. Like randomly you start remembering something when you were, I don't know, within that 14-year period, and you don't know why. It's just like sealing itself and reminding you of things that you need to share with others to heal at the same time. Not necessarily also for you to heal, but for like what can you give others, like what tools and like, what's the word? What can he teach? I'm going to use the word teach. What can he teach others to heal themselves? Like what you have learned and what you can teach others with that. And also with that family, it also shows like what spiritual family came with. For example, if you have a Sagittarius Neptune family, you're more likely to find your soul group and people that travel around weird festivals or conferences, for example. And with Scorpio, you'll find people randomly, like maybe on Facebook, investigating some sort of like, you know, like some sort of like, I'm going to use the word disease, but disease is totally not the right word. Just like, so let's say some parallel talks about your past life, like if you came from a generation of veterans, for example, or you came from a generation of people that have emerged and left their family bloodlines, and that's like, that can be seen when you're doing the chart reading as well. And there's also the houses and numbers that you guys were talking about earlier. Now we're looking at Pluto. Pluto's here to embody the energy and action you need to release the dormant forces. It informs us how suppressed emotions surface in the third dimensional body. Upon cultivating awareness, one can trace how attachments lock into our systems, such as chakras, meridians. A successful healing clearing of the attachments of the energetic layers of the body offers one clarity, regeneration, transformation. And to summarize, it represents spiritual death and metamorphosis of all, sorry, my chest. So just to summarize, if you're in the healing practice and let's say you're trying to help someone and something feels stuck, look at the Pluto in their chart and see like where to pinpoint and which meridian to like clear it in order to activate all the other elements and tools and chakras to open up. So that's like a really good modality, Pluto, to look at like how to release like dormant cycles or dormant forces, or even soul retrieval for those that are doing shamanic work as well. Looking at Pluto in their chart is very, very helpful. I'm gonna pause here to see if you guys have any questions. Neptune in Sagittarius, Pluto in Libra. That's a bit of a veteran sign as well, and a bit of a travel. Similar thing, you have to like travel. When things get stagnant and you're not receiving any more information, just drive yourself somewhere for a bit and get yourself like a tool and hold it and see what happens. Let's see, Neptune, Capricorn, Pluto, Scorpio. Oh my, that's kind of like you're here to close generational doors that don't serve the generation coming forth anymore. And with Scorpio in your chart and your Pluto, a lot of crown activity that may keep you unbalanced. Like we'll talk about that later, but there's a lot of, we'll focus on the healing today, a lot of crown activity to keep it balanced. We'll look into that.